Oh my gosh, guys! I cannot believe it. It's 2024. Oh my gosh. Happy New Year, guys. Hopefully you guys had a great New Year's Eve. Watched the fireworks, having just so much fun, ending off 2023 with a good night and beginning of a brand new year, 2024. So of course, like every start of the year, I have to name down my most anticipated films for 2024. Now, if you don't like any of the 10 movies that I'm anticipating for, even the honorable mentions, that's completely fine. If you want to do something about it, let me know in the comments below what movies you're mainly looking forward to in 2024. I really want to know your guys' opinions because, man, 2024 is going to be a pretty big year. There's a lot of movies coming out in 2024 that I'm anticipating for. So, of course, before we get to my 10 most anticipated films of the year, of course, I got some honorable mentions to lay out because, man, there's a lot of honorable mentions because there's a lot of movies that I'm looking forward to in 2024. So, let's name those down real quick. First, we got Gladiator 2. Man, we're getting a sequel to one of my favorite films of all time. I love Gladiator and Ridley Scott's return to direct. Wasn't sure about it until the cast. Denzel Washington, Pedro Pascal, hell yeah, I'm in. Bad Boys 4, Saw 11, Civil War, Alex Garland's new movie, If, John Krasinski's new family film that he's directing. Wow, this actually looks pretty interesting, I'm not gonna lie. Kung Fu Panda 4, the Roadhouse remake with Jake Gyllenhaal, Argylle, Michael Vaughn's new spy action film. Of course he does it well with Kingsman. Let's see how he does with this film. Bob Marley One Love, Sonic the Hedgehog 3, The Fall Guy, David Leitch's new film, Mickey 17, the guy who directed Parasite, looking forward to that, Paddington in Peru, Challengers, Mufasa the Lion King prequel, The Crow, Beetlejuice 2, Jordan Peele's new film that has no title and no premise yet. Looking forward to that. Hopefully that's coming out this year. I heard it might come out this year. Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, Godzilla x Kong: A New Empire, and last, you're going to be pissed at this one, and here's the reason why. Dune Part 2. I'm excited for Dune Part 2. Dune Part 2 looks amazing. It could be my favorite movie of this year, but honestly, I just hate repeating movies that are delayed and putting in my anticipated movies every year. So I'm going to put Dune Part 2 in my honorable mentions for a reason, but hell yeah, I'm pumped for that film. So, those were my honorable mentions, guys. Yes, there's quite a lot. There's a lot of movies I'm looking forward to this year. Now, let's get into the main 10. No build-ups, no templates. Let's just get straight into it. So starting off with my number 10 is A Quiet Place Day 1, the prequel to A Quiet Place that came out in 2018, which is one of the biggest surprises of that year. The only reason why it's a little bit lower on my list is because John Krasinski is not directing the film. It's took from the director of Pig, which I really did like. But hopefully this director keeps the same spirit as the first two A Quiet Place movies because I really love the first two movies. So with this prequel coming out, I'm very interested. The cast is amazing. Jahan Mahansu, Lupita Nyong'o. Great casting for this movie. Interested to see how this movie plays out, especially centering around different characters besides John Krasinski's family in the first two films. I'm interested to see how this goes. Hopefully it's a very serviceable prequel. Coming into my number 9 is one of the animated films on my list, and that is Inside Out 2. I love the first Inside Out. It is definitely in my top 5 favorite Pixar films of all time. It's creative, it's emotional, but also very charming. Inside Out 2 has potential. The plot seems very clever, exploring Riley's puberty with some new emotions, including anxiety. Man, that character's going to steal the entire movie, but I'm very curious to see what the other emotions are. It's going to be a very crowded movie, but hopefully this movie is very creative, very deep, and keeps the exact same emotion like the first one is. Let's hope that this is a movie that also fixes Pixar, because Pixar hasn't gone on the best routes right now, in my opinion. Now we have another animated film on my number 8, and that is The Lord of the Rings, The War of Rohirrim. I love Lord of the Rings. It is one of my favorite movie trilogies of all time. Now, this is an anime film that served as a prequel to Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers, which, honestly, I'm already on board with that. Like, a Lord of the Rings anime film that's coming on the big screen, that is awesome. Even some of the cast returning for Lord of the Rings, including Miranda Otto. So, I'm definitely on board for this. Hopefully, it's a beautiful looking film, and hopefully this film comes on the big screen. Like, please come in cinemas, not streaming. I want this movie to come in theaters, even in IMAX. I will definitely see it because I am a Lord of the Rings fan. And this gives me a chance to review the first 3 Lord of the Rings films because, man, Lord of the Rings trilogy is one of my favorite trilogies of all time. Coming into my number 7 is Alien Romulus. Now, the Alien franchise has been pretty mixed, but of course, Alien and Aliens are some of my favorite films of all time. And this movie, what I heard, it takes place between those two movies, which, honestly, I'm on board. The director of this film is actually the guy who directed the Evil Dead remake, which I really did like, and also Don't Breathe, one of the most suspenseful horror films I have ever seen. So if he can do that well with Don't Breathe, I don't see why not doing that with an Alien film. Hopefully this film is brutal like the remake of Evil Dead was. Don't know about the plot too much, but honestly, new Alien film, I'm in. Hopefully it is the next Prey, because Prey really surprised me. Hopefully Alien Romulus does the same thing. Coming into my number 6 is Wicked Part 1. Now, I love musicals. I love Broadway musicals. And finally, we're getting a movie adaptation of one of the most iconic Broadway musicals of all time. John M. Chu is directing this film. He directed In the Heights, which I really do love. And especially that this is going to be a two-part movie. So, I reckon the story's going to expand a lot more within the characters, because I have seen Wicked in the past. It's coming back again in Melbourne. I'm so excited to see it before this movie. And even the cast is amazing. Like, Ariana Grande is playing Glinda. The one who's going to play the Wicked Witch looks like she has so much potential. With Michelle Yeoh. And also Jeff fucking Goldblum is playing the Wizard of Oz. How is this movie not in my anticipated movies of the year? Hopefully this movie has one of the best endings of the year, because I got a feeling this movie's going to end with Defying Gravity. And it's going to be an awesome ending, honestly, to a Part 1 movie, like, ever. But let's hope this musical stands out. Hopefully John M. Chu knows what he's doing, because this is a pretty big musical to fill. Now, coming into my number 5 is Nosferatu. This is Robert Eggers' new film, and yeah, that's all I gotta say. It's Robert Eggers' new film. The guy who pulled off The Witch, The Lighthouse, and The Northman. 3 films that I freaking loved. With Bill Skarsgård, of course Willem Dafoe's in this, Lily Rose Depp. I'm excited for this cast. I'm excited to see how this movie turns out. Robert Eggers, let's hope he can do it again with this awesome Dracula movie. Like, Robert Eggers is directing a Dracula movie, that is badass. Coming into my number 4 is Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Of course, I love Rise, Dawn, and War for the Planet of the Apes. And this movie is the continuation of that took place 300 years after War for the Planet of the Apes. Wow. Really excited to see how the world's going to expand, the new apes in the film. Wes Ball, I think he's pretty underrated. I don't mind the Maze Runner movies, but hopefully he can pull it off with this movie. But I'm really curious to see how this movie progresses. The visuals look amazing. The first teaser trailer really got me in. So let's see how the story goes with Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, and hopefully they keep the original Planet of the Apes into its charm. Coming into my number 3 is Joker Folie à Deux. Hopefully I said the name right. I'm just going to call it Joker 2 for now, before the movie comes out, so I know if I set this title right. But of course, Joker 2. How could I not be pumped for that? The first Joker blew me away. It's definitely in my 10 favorite comic book movies of all time. That movie really surprised me. Todd Phillips directed that movie very well. Joaquin Phoenix is unbelievable in the role as Joker. So now I cannot wait to see the sequel progress even more, especially that this movie is going to be a musical? Interesting. This is definitely going to be a completely different film than the first Joker was, and honestly, I'm on board for that. Joaquin Phoenix is going to return. The team behind the first movie still behind this movie, and also Lady Gaga playing Harley Quinn. I'm on board with that. She's going to definitely kill it. She's definitely in competition with Margot Robbie, but honestly, it's like saying Heath Ledger and Joaquin Phoenix play 2 different versions of Joker, so I'm going to think the same thing with Harley Quinn here. Coming into my number 2 is Furiosa, a Mad Max saga. Yes, Mad Max Fury Road was actually my very first movie review on this channel. So of course, I had to put Furiosa much more high, because I love the Mad Max movies. My god, Fury Road was one of the biggest surprises, probably since The Dark Knight, of saying this is one of the greatest movies that's ever made. So now we got a prequel to Charlize Theron's character, who stole the entire show in Mad Max Fury Road. And Anya Taylor-Joy is going to kill as a young version of Furiosa. And also Chris Hemsworth. Man, this is a completely different role he's playing, and honestly, I think he's going to crush it in this film. Hopefully George Miller still has got it for movie making, with practical effects, great action scenes, but also a really good story in general. But man, George Miller is still directing movies. That is just unbelievable. Still directing these action movies. Man, hopefully Furiosa Mad Max Saga is a movie that came out this year that feels like a film that should be a film. But guys, my number 1, the movie that I'm mostly anticipating for in 2024, the movie that hopefully exceeds my expectations in every single way, and that movie is, well, I think you guys got the idea. Deadpool 3 is definitely my most anticipated movie of this year. First of all, Deadpool is one of my favorite comic book movies of all time. I love Deadpool. Ryan Reynolds, this is definitely his role. This is definitely the role that I will always remember him. Deadpool 1 is great. Deadpool 2, I also really loved. And man, Deadpool 3, there's so much anticipation throughout this movie. Not just that I'm excited for Ryan Reynolds coming back as Deadpool, but we also got a legendary return of Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. This guy was my childhood. This is the guy that got me into liking actors and movies. And now, two of these awesome legends coming together in one movie. This movie better be good. Especially that this is mainly going to be a movie that's going to end off the Fox universe of Marvel Universe. With Jennifer Garner returning as Elektra. Also with the set photos, there's a lot of shit that happens. And I'm just praying that Deadpool 3 kind of like makes fun of what like Marvel is doing right now. That would be awesome. Honestly, Deadpool in the MCU is going to be quite an interesting trait in 2024. And it's in fact the only MCU film that's coming out this year. Wow. Deadpool 3 better be worth that wait. I've been waiting since the announcement came out with Hugh Jackman coming back in that yellow suit. Man, Deadpool 3, just bring it on. And Sean Levy also is a very underrated director. Love Free guy. Even like the Adam Project. I thought the Adam Project was very underrated. I think he's a very underrated director. Hopefully Deadpool 3 is his best film because man, Sean Levy can direct films very, very well. But mainly, I'm just looking forward to see Deadpool and Wolverine in a movie together. It's going to be badass. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be brutal. It's going to be anything I want from a Marvel movie right now. So guys, those are my 10 most anticipated movies of 2024. Man, I'm excited for this year. There's a lot of movies that are coming out this year. So let me know in the comments below. What are your most anticipated movies of 2024? And also, what movies you're not looking forward to in 2024? Let me know all those things in the comments below. Make sure you guys follow me on social media links down below. Keep contact with me. And make sure you guys subscribe to my channel to notify for my latest movie reviews and other movie-related content. Thank you guys so much for watching and look forward to movie reviews for 2024. And have a nice day.